Yo, what up, y'all? Thank y'all so much for dropping by, man. I'm just about to dive in and let you guys know what's going down out here in these superhero streets, man. So, you already know they have been talks about crossing over Marvel with DC. Basically a Avengers verse, Justice League type movie. A big banger, blockbuster smash hit, kind of like Endgame. Just put dozens and dozens of characters on the big screen together because Marvel is trying to win back their fan base, man. We already know why. They had went woke, so they started to go broke. The biggest banger since Endgame to me was Deadpool and Wolverine. The rest of them was probably just mid in between that time. Now, let's jump over to good old Superman. Superman have basically hit 600 mil. From what they're saying now, this is IGN putting this out there. By the way, you can go look it up. They have said that it's about to cross 600 mil, right? And back in 2013, Man of Steel hit 670 mil from what they're saying. Are these good numbers for Superman? About to hit 600 mil? Yes, I would believe so. I would have to say yes. These are really good numbers. Big shout out to James Gunn and the team for creating something that we was trying to add Snyderverse. And we was trying to basically, this ain't me being no shield or saying, I'm glad or happy that, the Snyderverse is going on and James Gunn is taking over. That's not what I'm saying. I feel like there's still room for Snyder to come back, probably on like HBO Max and finish out his, vision and his universe as well. But James Gunn don't want his vision to step on his toes right now because what he's coming with is his own universe, giving us a Guardian of a Galaxy kind of team up with, Superman and try to bring that Marvel, DNA to DC universe so that, they can have a steady superhero fan base, steady superhero movies coming out, and they're all just great products coming out and they're giving people quality that they've been asking, for a very long time. And it seems like we couldn't get back to that point with Snyder because his vision was so different. He wanted to bring out, maybe some B-list, D-list characters. A lot of people probably weren't really too thrilled about, and that's okay. But we want to stick to the biggest superheroes, which is of course Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman of the world, Flash, Aquaman, the Justice League characters, the Green Lanterns of the world. Supergirl. Like, we want to stick to our main characters. We don't want to derail the brand. Okay, it's already been through too many changes already, and to see that these numbers are climbing bigger than Fantastic Four, like it just catapulted past, Fantastic Four because Marvel they divided their fan base. They don't want to accept it, but then they understand what happened now. Now they got to spend extra money, extra millions, if not billions, to win back a new audience because the old audience is kind of not really sold. They still have that fear in them of they still can go back woke at any minute because of this whole Fantastic Four. And the reason why I bring that up is because the entire superhero, media is comparing the two. They're like, oh, what went wrong with Fantastic Four? Bro, do I really got to tell you what went wrong? We see the woman Silver Surfer, bro. We see the agendas. We see what they're pushing out here. We see they still have a little woke activist still at Marvel. We see Iger and the boys over there. They still ain't listening to the fan base. And to now Robert Downey Jr. coming back. I'm hearing there's some controversy behind the scene as well, because they're saying, okay, he wants to rewrite some things on Doomsday on Avengers, but that's a whole nother video that we're gonna talk about. Now, this whole thing about Fantastic Four versus Superman, man, like, it's just crazy that I'm seeing this like in 3D, like in 4K, because it's like we already been through this when Endgame, okay, when Endgame was over for Marvel, they should have just kept that recipe. You had these woke activists. Disney woke it up, forcing Marvel to go woke, to pay all these woke activists, you know what I'm saying, that's coming out of nowhere, want to give their input. Even in the gaming industry as well. That's another video as well. When all these woke activists come into your industry, they bring their own vision with them, how they feel like it should go. Not what the fans say, stick to source material. I know everybody always say, you know, sometimes it's okay for a gaming audience, superhero audience, TV audience, big screen movie audience. We get all that. But don't go too far away from source material. And that's what James Gunn brought back with Superman. And that's why it's a winning recipe. See, when Marvel didn't learn from their mistakes before, you know, basically until like Fantastic Four and down to Endgame. In between those times, they were trying to push the MCU, the Marvels, you know, Black Widow, you know, She-Hulk. You know what I'm saying? These are characters that's probably not everybody A-list characters. And then this Miss Marvel, they try to shove her into the MCU and make her one of the top, you know, X-Men characters or whatever, or Avenger characters in the Avengers game. That destroyed that game, and it was already live service. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm getting somewhere. What I'm saying is stick to source material. You want to do this Avengers, you want to mix everything up. You want to make this MCU versus DCU, this Marvel versus DC movie come together that we've been hearing about, talks behind the scene, where probably James Gunn and Iger and all the big top CEOs over there at Disney and stuff. How can they get the fan base back? How can we win them back? We know we messed up, but some people don't want to admit they messed up. They just want to say, oh, that was another phase. We're going in a different phase 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, wherever phase they want to be in. And it was a senseless, like, it's just like they dropped the ball, but they can't admit it. Like, Disney don't want Marvel to admit they dropped the ball. So they just keep trying to reboot. And everybody's like, bro, we can't catch up with these characters. We don't get where the stories are going. You want to bring out Doctor Stranges of the world. You want to do all these multiverses. You're confusing everybody. I'm like, what is going on with Marvel? DC got a solid director. Didn't want Snyder. He's like, hey Snyder, it's not that your vision ain't good. It's just you're all over the place. We need something solid that we can stand on from, like I said before, like Endgame and down. We need something solid, like a solid slate that stick to source material, that's fun, that's enjoyable. When you go to the movies, you don't want to feel like there's an agenda being pushed, like their story is bigger than the movie, than the characters. It's like they're telling, it's like these activists, woke activists, inject. Like, even I just got done watching the superhero channel, and he was saying they're going to be done with the Eternals. They put them on the back burner. You're not going to hear from them characters anymore. They're not going to be in Doomsday. They're not going to be in, the new War or Avengers or whatever, Secret War or whatever. They're not going to be nowhere to be found because they went woke. We all seen the kissing scene between two men. Like, certain stuff, you can't push agendas. Certain countries don't allow that abomination on the big screen. Some people don't agree with that on the big screen. And that's why the Eternals, when they went that way, they decided to push agendas, push identity politics in the movies. It didn't go because there's really no place for it, because it's already fictional characters. It's already coming from the comic book. They weren't wrote to please 1 to 2% of your fan base. That's where Disney went wrong, and that's where DC is trying to get right now. And when you hitting the 600 mil, I mean, Mark, bro, you're doing something right. Obviously, Superman is doing something right. Big shout out to James Gunn once again. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of people that's against him and they want the Snyderverse back. And like I always say, I don't have nothing against the Snyderverse or whatever. I thought it was cool. I thought he had a good vision, but it was all over the place. Nobody really knew, are we going to have a solid superhero bangers dropping back to back? And I didn't really see that coming from him. It was inconsistent. It was all over the place. You weren't focused on your biggest hero with Superman. Man of Steel should have had a movie every 3 years or so. Yeah, he should at least had 3-4 movies out by now. At least. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put him on the back burner. You want to team him up. And then when James Gunn come along, he make one Superman movie and make a banger. And now the media, the superhero media is out of control because you got a split between the fan base because they felt like Snyder didn't finish his vision. They felt robbed. We get it, but that was on him. That was on WB. That was on Snyder, WB, Warner. It was too many different managements. It was going under too many different managements, confusing everything. Now we got James Gunn made this Superman banger. You know what I'm saying? About to hit 600 mil. You know, from Man of Steel. If it's 70 mil off, hey, who cares? At least it's close. You know what I'm saying? At least you're getting back to source material. You're giving the fans what they want: fun, entertainment, action-packed, cool characters. That's all we asked for, bro. That's all we've been asking Disney to do with Marvel. And now you want to try to make a crossover, and you think you're gonna bring your woke ideology, your woke activists over here back to DC to destroy their movies. James Gunn might say, "Hey, man, this is, you see what Robert Downey Jr. is going through with right now behind the scenes with Disney and Marvel." He wants to rewrite Doom, and I think he wants to keep the mask on. But we gotta say that video. We gotta say that. That's some juicy stuff there. That's some real juicy stuff there. And that's coming as well. But we gotta stick to source material. And this is the winning recipe, y'all. We can't get away from this. This is what everybody has been crying about. Everybody, man, we need to get back to making bangers. Endgame and down. Man of Steel. That's all old Batman. Let's get back to Batman. Let's get back to what it is, the Knight, the Dark Knight. Let's get back to Joker and the Dark Knight. Let's get back to those days. Now we're getting back to those days on one side. DC is getting it together, but yeah, and still, Fantastic Four is dropping the ball with this woman Silver Surfer. And no, like I said, I don't have nothing against a woman character, powerful superhero characters. We always gonna have those people that always come out and say, "Oh, you're anti this, you're a bigot, you don't like this, or you're against that." That's not the case at all. All as fans of Marvel, fans of certain Disney stuff, of their products, because they own it, we have to go back to source material, what we know. They should have reshot that, put the male, Silver Surfer there. You would have easily crossed over 500, 600 million. Now you have a split between the fan base because they know you're pushing an agenda. They know you have to check boxes. Let's just keep it a buck. It's out there in the open. Everybody talks about it, so it's no secret. It's no secret. Like, we already know Vanguard, Sweet Baby Inc. out there, BlackRock, forcing people to push agendas, these ESG scores. It's out there. They already let everybody know what they were doing. They was like, yeah, we're doing that. They have to meet these quotas. And if they don't get the bag. They don't get the money. So if they want the 10, 15, 20 mil, however much how much extra money they're funding to check those boxes, to push their agenda, they got it because they're billionaires. But the problem is you're killing off your fan base. Like, your fan base is like, no, we going somewhere else. We're going to DC. We're going to support Superman. Since you don't want to give us a man Silver Surfer, we're going over here to DC with James Gunn. We're going over here. That's the only thing I had against, Fantastic Four. I really did want to like this movie. I really did want it to be good or great. But to me now, it's just okay. Because no, I don't have nothing against strong, super powerful women. I always want to see Rogue and Jean Grey get off on X-Men again. I want to see Storm with her solo film or solo TV show on Disney Plus or something. Never got it. So it ain't got nothing to do with that. But when you're trying to say you're trying to cross over a movie, I gotta stop and think and say, wait, y'all just brought out a 2025 movie with a woke Silver Surfer on there talking about you want to do a crossover to save the MCU, to save Doomsday, or to save Secret Wars. I'm just saying, I don't have nothing against it, but we see it. It's like, bro, you trying to check all these boxes with your little ESG scores and woke it up. But then Superman over here, James Gunn, is focusing on source material, sticking to the comic book, making bangers. I mean, the definition of insanity is Disney and Marvel keep doing the same thing, thinking they're going to get different results. Stick to source material. Superman, big shout out to crossing that. I know they're going to cross probably that 600 million plus or whatever. Big shout out to James Gunn. Snyderverse, man. I know you probably will get back in the game. What he got, like Rebel Moon? Is that him? Rebel Moon or something? Like, he got bangers out. So it ain't like he ain't working. But it's just like, man, we got to get back to this. This is what we've been asking for, bro. Like, well, I don't want to see no more Fantastic Four not giving the fans 100% what they want. They only gave us 50, and you split. You gave us like 50 to 75 because you gave us Galactus, and then you dropped the ball with the Silver Surfer. And it's like, why do y'all keep doing the same dumb stuff? And we know it's the higher ups. We know it's the CEOs and the shareholders. We know it's Vanguard, BlackRock, and signing ESG scores to woke everything up, because those people at the top, they're behind their desks and they know you don't know who they are. So they're like Iger and Bob Iger and Marvel, and the lower people, they're gonna take the blame for that. So it's just frustrating to not have both sides. Like, you got the Marvel, you got DC. They're both at their A game, and then you got one side dropping the ball. Clearly been hearing the fans since Endgame to stop woking everything up. They say they want to get back to. They even told it. They said we wanted Marvel to get back to quality. I say, bro, if you're still breadcrumbing us with some wokeness in there, even though you didn't woke the whole movie up, but you still breadcrumb, you still put something in there to like make everyone. Once you see something on the big screen or on a TV show or a movie, and you say, why did they do that? That's the ESG score that they had to check. That's the check box, because it's that even when we can even go to Mortal Kombat with Jay got a bald head, but once again, that's another video. That's some juicy stuff. That's some big and juicy stuff, man. So that's another video. I gotta say the juicy stuff for later. We got a lot more rants coming out, because we gotta stick to source material, and we gotta stick to comparing to seeing where did Marvel go wrong and where's DC going right at, because they want to make these bangers back to back, and Marvel is all over the place. Now they're trying to push out Spider-Man. That's another video. That's some big and juicy stuff. And they're worrying about other things and talking about Doomsday to get everybody focused off Fantastic Four. But it's like, bro, man, we got to get past this woke pushing agendas era. Like, I don't know if it's going to be the next 5 years, 10. We got to get past this, man. Like, this is destroying the movie industry, and it's just embarrassing to the fan base. And people are probably not even proud to be called a Marvel fan because of this stupid, dumb agendas being pushed on people that they ain't asking for. Had to keep it above. We got to keep it real, because that's how we get better. Yeah, some people gonna like it. Some people gonna rock with it. Some people not. But we got to keep it 100.